Today we're going to make the most delicious, crispy...
potatoes.
So we're making 1,000-layer potatoes or potato pave, depends on where you were taught to cook. But first you need 2 loaf pans and some potatoes. These are going to be russets. Let's get in there first and go through the annoying process of taking off the skin of all of them. This took forever. It's a real pain, but I do recommend doing this because the skin doesn't really look great or taste great in this recipe. I had 4, but you could probably get away with 2 or 3. I had a lot extra. Next, we're going to need to mandolin these, basically as thin as you can get. Also have a bowl of cream on the side because potatoes will oxidize, and this will also give them some way to get a little extra creaminess. So that's how thin you want them, basically see-through, and just mandolin all your potato slices right into your big old bowl of cream. Mix them up once they're done. You can see this is way more than I'll ever need, but I wanted to be on the safe side here. Take your loaf pan and fill it with some sort of great anti-stick parchment paper. Whatever you have that works is totally fine, but I recommend parchment. Then you're going to grease your loaf pan. This just will help it come out later. Cut the sides down so it fits nicely like that, and then start in on your first layer. The pieces don't need to be perfect because you're going to trim off a lot of the edges of this when you're done, but just try to get as close to the corners as you can with some of the pieces that are more 90-degree and squared. And then you're going to go layer by layer, tediously filling in every little gap. Make sure you're overlapping them so there is good cross coverage. In between each layer, I like to coat it in butter. You don't need to do this, but it'll add a nice texture and taste at the end. Then you go layer by layer. This took probably 20 to 30 minutes to do, but it's worth it. Do it right. Make sure you're getting every layer nice and overlapping. That will stop them from falling apart later, and it also will help them compress after this. But here we are. Didn't go all the way to the top because you want a little extra room to compress them down. So leave about ½ an inch at the top of whatever pan you're using, which will allow it to compress easier. And then you're going to pop these into an oven at 375 for about 1 hour. The test you want to do at the end is like any other baking, and you want to see if the toothpick slides in nice and easily. Don't feel like you're pushing through uncooked potatoes, but that slid right in perfectly. This was good to go. Pop it out. Now comes the fun part. You're going to weight these down. Some people use cans. I used a 5-pound dumbbell. You need another loaf pan of the same size. Pop it on top, push it down, give it a little help starting, compressing it a bit, and then you're going to let gravity do the rest of the work for the next few hours. Some people leave these overnight in the fridge where you'll pop it in next, but I left it for about 6 hours. That was more than enough. You might want to heat up the pan here when you remove it to just kind of help the parchment pop out. That's what I did, and then this slid out so easily. Look how beautiful that looks. They're going to be fairly easy to remove the parchment, but just be fairly careful in case it's stuck in any areas you don't want to ruin the layers here. Once you pop it out, go ahead and trim off the edges. This will help you cut nice slices later. But look how nice that looks. You can see all those layers. You can see a little bit of cream on the inside from where they were soaking. And now cut about ½ inch to inch thick pieces. That's a fairly good size for frying it later, where they'll still be nice and soft on the inside but very crispy on the outside. Once you do that, slice them all up. And I'm going to throw them onto a plate because I like to throw them into a freezer for a little bit before I use them, which will make them a little bit harder than they currently are, and it'll make sure that they don't come apart in the frying pan. So here you go. I just shallow fry this. You can use a deep fryer. Just get it to the point where it's bubbling like this and try to maintain that temperature. There's no specifics you need. I don't recommend deep frying them. It's a little overkill. But throw them into a nice shallow frying pan. Vegetable oil or canola oil. Look at them every once in a while, see if they're ready. That side isn't good enough yet. You're looking for a real nice golden brown. You'll know it when you see it. There it is. Flip them over. Let the other side now cook for a little. You could keep flipping them in the middle if you want. It's not necessary, but you can. Flip them over there. Let them now cook for another 2 or 3 minutes on that other side. All in all, they take about 8 to 10 minutes to get to that look right there. Pop them out. Throw them onto paper or anything that will absorb the oil. You can put it onto a wire rack if you want. Give them a nice light salting, and there you go. Potatoes pave or 1,000-layer potatoes. These things were delicious. They're crispy. They're soft on the inside. One of the best sides I've ever had. Definitely recommend making these. Look at how nice that is. Let me know if you guys try it, and until next time, thanks for watching.